Yeah, I did change, and I'm really glad I changed.
This one's wife. Was Harry really at home? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. You may have seen the newspaper reports in respect of Harry appearing at NATO. As I mentioned in a video yesterday, he looked like some kind of Bond villain or Dr. Evil looming over everybody. Was he ready to go $1 million as he sought to shill from NATO to get some funding for Invictus? What is interesting is that his appearance on that screen raised the possibility that he actually wasn't where he sought to portray himself as being. From what most people could discern from what had appeared in the media was that he was at home in Monty Shit Show, and of course there was a photograph of him and this one's wife behind him. More about that in due course. But might it be the case that Harry actually wasn't at home in Monty Shit Show, and in actual fact was appearing in front of a green screen, as per the thumbnail? Well, interestingly, Harry does tend to appear in person as opposed to doing video conferences. He has done them, but this one's wife is the individual that tends to do them more usually. The fact that Harry chose to undertake a video conference does not of itself, of course, demonstrate that it was a false background. But what was interesting was the fact that one could clearly discern from it that there appeared to be something of a blue line around the edge of Harry, which is what you often find when somebody is using a false background. What's also interesting is that, so far as I am aware, there hasn't been any actual filmed footage of his appearance, just the still that has been taken. So we don't know, for instance, did he actually converse with the delegates there? Was he simply observing and didn't have anything meaningful to say? Or was it that he actually just delivered a speech and he wasn't there to debate or discuss? Might it also have been that the speech was pre-recorded? We don't know. We don't know the substance of what was said, and also the fact that there isn't any material conveying what he actually had to say, nor even reported. We had what Admiral Bauer had to say, but not what Harry commented upon, which is also rather unusual. Why might he not be at home? Well, it could be as a consequence of this continued professional split that has been mentioned in relation to him and this one's wife. Alternatively, it might be as a consequence of the fact that they actually have separated as a couple. Or it might be that Harry, having separated, be it professionally or romantically, wants to be somewhere else but doesn't want people knowing about that. There have been suggestions that he might be away from this one's wife recuperating, that he might be in rehab, that he might be liaising with other people vis-a-vis the preparation of divorce proceedings. It is speculation. No firm evidence has been provided to support that. What has driven the speculation is the fact that this one's wife and Harry have not been seen together for some time. The surfing video that surfaced just recently was actually filmed some time ago, and there are concerns about the fragility of Harry's health. If it is the case that he wasn't at home in Monty Shit Show, why not just show that? Why not just pretend, or rather why not demonstrate that you are somewhere else, be it in a hotel room, a conference suite, whatever it might be? Why pretend to be at home if that is what has happened? Well, one reason might, of course, be that it is to lessen speculation about where Harry is so that he can concentrate on whatever it is he's currently doing, be that getting better, just recuperating, undertaking a course of rehabilitation, or marshalling his resources in relation to divorce proceedings. Alternatively, it might be that he's doing so to maintain an image to the outside world to keep this one's wife happy, by making it seem that the idyllic marriage continues and that he is at home. That might be something that he does to kowtow to the needs of this one's wife, so that having gone, it just makes life a little easier for him. Then again, it might be that he actually finds it entertaining to make it seem like he's at home, that it's part of the game playing that him and this one's wife are often accused of. Or then again, it might be that he's done this because he doesn't want this one's wife knowing where he is. And rather than, for instance, put up the image of a tropical island or a roller coaster behind him, he simply chooses to demonstrate that he's at home and perhaps kill several birds with one stone. That to the outside world, he lessens speculation by causing it to be seen that he is at home. This one's wife knows that he isn't at home, but he cocks a snook at her by saying, I'm going to make it look like I'm still there, even though I'm not, because I don't want you knowing where I am. Is this the behaviour that somebody who is the victim of a narcissist may well engage in? Well, understandably, if, and of course there is no firm evidence to support this, but if Harry has escaped the clutches of this one's wife, one of the fundamental things that he must do as part of that is the implementation of a solid no-contact regime in relation to this one's wife, which would mean not enabling her to know where he is so she can't hoover him. If the marriage has ended and he is the one that's precipitated his departure, that he is the one that has undertaken an escape, that naturally will vastly threaten her need for control. And one of the things that a narcissist will do is either prevent that person from leaving through a preventative hoover, or, where the intimate partner primary source has departed, embark upon what's known as the initial grand hoover. You can read more about that blitzkrieg approach of the narcissist in my excellent book, No Contact. Accordingly, it is one of the steps that a victim ought to take to ensure that the narcissist doesn't know where that individual is and won't be able to find them, so that they cannot hoover them, thus continuing the abuse or subjecting them to a guilt trip or emotional blackmail, etc., and preventing them from drawing fuel. Thus, it is something that a victim would be advised to do to ensure that the narcissist doesn't know where you are. And with Harry, who is wanting to undertake some form of interaction, he decides, I'm not going to go to NATO because if I'm seen there, she knows that's where I am, and I don't want her knowing that. There's always the risk that she would perhaps find her way to wherever he is, and instead what he wants to do is make it look like he's somewhere else, which she knows he can't be, and therefore she doesn't know where he is, which makes it all the harder for her to control him. It also may well serve the subsidiary purpose of causing it to be the case that people think, oh, he is at home, right, there isn't any split, and that lessens a degree of the speculation from people as to the state of his marriage. It does seem to me that the footage that we saw was questionable. The line that could be seen, the blue line, did raise the possibility that he was sat in front of a green screen, and therefore one then contemplates, why would he be doing it? There's a multiplicity of reasons, but one of the most likely, if it was a green screen image, is that he doesn't want this one's wife knowing where he is, because he's escaped, and he's implementing a no-contact regime. What do you think? Do you think it was a questionable image, or do you think he actually was at home and there's basically been a lot of brouhaha over nothing, that they are still together and quite simply it's all been idle speculation? Or do you think there's more to it? Do you think Harry has escaped? Do you think that the marriage has foundered? And do you think that he put this up because He wanted to ensure that she didn't know where he was. Do you think he's doing it to cock a snook at her? Or do you think he's playing games? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.